Aelita Diaries for this week. Just in time. Episode 13. We're halfway home, guys. And thanks to some unfortunate information, it's going to be up to us to pick up the torch where a podcast without danger left off until they can catch back up. So, this is in dedication to them, first and foremost. Hope you guys get back on your feet. And hope you guys get back to work soon. As far as the episode proper goes, this is an episode that is very similar to Cruel Dilemma in a lot of ways. Why? Because it's the same basic setup. Something of progress happens with Jeremy's materialization program. Something goes wrong. Gang has to fix it. Problem not so solved. And just like Cruel Dilemma, sacrifice is the name of the game. And if there's one character that does a heck of a lot of sacrificing in this series, it's my darling Aelita Hopper. She's already sacrificed her spot once, the aforementioned Cruel Dilemma, to save Yumi's life. Now she will make a different kind of sacrifice. It all started off of, well, of all things, her iconic hair, or at least one hair of her iconic hair. Jeremy has managed to materialize it, which makes him pretty positive that the rest of her could come too. Naturally, he gets no such thing and he gets rickrolled again. But in the process of being rickrolled, there's a mistake. It's affected the Lyoko code directly, and her. This bug will have her deleted if she enters Code Lyoko again. I swear, just like Aelita has ears at the wrong time, Zen has ears at the right time. This time, though, he decides to create a small-scale ultrasonic earthquake, creating enough sound waves that it disturbs the ground and balance of Kedak Academy itself, which is actually a rather clever plot pun, I think. Trapping our heroes in the school, there's no way to get to Lyoko and get to him. But, just like in typical Thana form, he starts rather small scale by using the ultrasonic waves to cause a couple of moments of broken glass around the school before his power escalates into the full-blown quake. This is the kind of masterful stuff that I like to see from the X-Men. Gradual upgrade of problems, similar to Satellite in that former fashion. Jeremy's focused on fixing the program in the meantime, while the guys try to stay safe. Unfortunately, Todd's not so lucky. He gets trapped in the earthquake affected school with Millie and Tamia, of all people. The only source of them being safe? Kiwi, who, because of the ultrasonic sound that the quake is emitting, he can hear it, and it disturbs all the other dogs in the neighborhood, which is actually true. This is why they don't like dog whistles, and and this is why they don't like things like fire alarms. It messes with them. It's actually a real scientific principle, and it pays off here, and it's well used. Unfortunately, the quake also spreads all throughout the city, factory included. Ultimately, and it's up to Orc alone on this drop to help Aelita out and buy Jeremy enough time to fix the problem, which, in a cruel dilemma style twist, he fails at this. And in her second act of sacrifice, she decides the world and people must be saved, and not her. She's ready to make one last run, literally. That's the line she uses, to get the job done, which, thanks to Yumi showing up at the last second for a bailout, manages to get the job done. Now, of course, we get goodbyes naturally, but just like Cruel Dilemma, the solution is already right at their fingertips to reverse the problem. The very hair that Jeremy went through all this effort to materialize happens, conveniently, to have her entire virtual code on it, which ends up saving the day and assuring that the show can continue, which is not to Xana's liking, I bet. But the next time this is brought up in earnest, Jeremy will succeed at it. And a heck of a lot of changes will be done after the fact. But we're 13 episodes away from that. Just in time, much like Cruel Dilemma and Satellite, and even Plague to some extent, is a real tension filler, not only due to the real world attack of the ultrasonic earthquake, but Aelita's fate being up in the cards. Usually in modern day shows, 13 episodes is usually either the end point to a show, if you're certain Japanese anime, mostly light novels, or you're the halfway point to a 26er, which luckily this is. It's really at this halfway point that we once again are reaffiliated with the main plot hook of the season. Which this is kind of the perfect time to do it, seeing that after the last two episodes, things have been incredibly average. Thankfully, this one is not a 5 out of 6. Just in time is the perfect kind of tension filled, bite at the edge of your nails nail biter that is absolutely needed after the two episodes that were not so much. Great Xana attack built off a multi-stage similar to Satellite, and every character gets their highlight heroic moments, even Odd in saving Millie and Tamia from certain death. And even Kiwi ends up being a hero here. Yeah, but of course, it aids in a lot of things that will come to advantage later. But this is a perfect mid-season close. It does what it needs to do. And next week, we'll start the second half of the mid-season where I can assure you things will pick up big time. Especially when we reach the twos proper. Things are things and an entire series are about halfway from going through a dramatic metamorphosis. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But so far, one half done, this season averages around a 4, which is good for the first 13. We'll see where the back 13 takes us next week as we close up the month of April with episode 14. Join me then, will you? And if you've seen the special Power Rangers Once and Always, I did a review of it just yesterday. This episode going will be recorded on Thursday to be uploaded when you see it. I'll leave you the end card for that right there. If you need to catch up with the other episodes of the half season, it will be to the right of me when this video ends. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up on this episodic journey. We've got all 81 episodes to go. Things are about to get interesting. I'll see you next week. Find peace in your own nirvana. I'm gonna hit the bed.